As a result, several female students, led by their Vice President Judith Nalukwago, staged a peaceful demonstration this morning over the increment. They intended to march to the President's office.
Broken my no. Yes. Let me see the house. Why would they beat such a person? Why would they beat such a person? Even the leg is spaining me. I'm beaten with the leg. The leg is spaining me.
Hello, Uganda. Are you ready? Should I begin? Well, I watched what you watched, and I have to say I got so disappointed. The truth is, I never wanted to talk about these issues. As usual, you know, in Uganda, ebintu ebyomugaso byanguwa nnyo okuyitawo simply because most media houses tebabiwabudde. And what's more surprising, namwe abantu ba bulijjo bebisinga okuluma, you don't give these issues time. And so I said to myself, until somebody asked me a question that got me so surprised, that why are these students protesting? I realized that there's so many Ugandans out there asking the same question, that they never could answer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when Bajenda stole money from the bank or the government, she was never held accountable. Our fellow brothers and sisters in Makerere or in any other university will be held accountable. When Mutabire steals money from the government, he will never be held accountable. Our brothers and sisters will be held accountable. When the president is doing what some people call wealth creation, a lot of money is being spent. Mutambula, mukulia, never know benyini abamukubira poko. He'll never be held accountable. Our fellow brothers and sisters will be held accountable. When these people steal money, nebagamba nti baguze ente za billion, they will never be held accountable. Our brothers and sisters will be held accountable. They'll keep increasing mu tuition. They'll keep increasing mu malwaliro. They'll keep increasing everywhere. But they will never touch people like Sam Kutesa. They'll never.
News for allegedly receiving a bribe of $500,000 from a Chinese businessman Chi Ping Patrick Ho. The Chinese national was convicted on corruption charges by a U.S. federal court over the same matter. Following the development, the president recently ordered an investigation into the matter. When asked about this matter, Kutesa refused to respond.
Lastly from me, you've been in the news of late about the...
Thank you very much. That's why I'm here.
Single question that our mothers, our parents find it so difficult okukola sente n'abeeramu n'emitwalo ebiri nga gitudde mu butuuzi mu nsawo. It is so difficult these days. And when they suffer so much to send us to school, to some, we sometimes lack even what to eat ku masomero. They do. Omuntu n'abeera ku university when he or she doesn't even have the money of photocopying waka gwali mu kukola. Chovolaba, when the students graduate with so much happiness, ne batandika okunoonya emirimu nga tebagiraba simply because the jobs are being given on credit, not on merit. Ani akumanyi? Oh my goodness. Chovolaba, ennaku zino si kyewuunya. A lot of people go in these Arab countries or outside countries ne yeewanika ku ddinisa waggulu with a degree or a diploma. You know, he or she is looking for butaswaza degree taata we gye yamuwa ng'anoonya ssente bwe ziti. But guess what? It is so amazing or difficult or sadly amazing that these people bo babera na bando weziti. And I kept on telling people until bo bando za wezibera weziti. Do you know why? Because they do not care. Maybe we are not Ugandan enough, or you are not Ugandan enough. And they know when they're doing these things. Sometimes, I think babi yogerane ku tea time, evening tea, they talk about it. Ndiwabyeyo meka na kutezino atofaayo tujja kuongeza aba university. We will increase money at the university. Ladies and gentlemen, when Muhoozi came out and said that they will hit or the government will come after anyone who fights against Uganda, he never meant about outside countries. He was telling the students of Makerere, he was telling you abagalo protesting anti ebizimbe babyongeza nnyo sente. He was telling you abali eyo nti amalwaliro bagongeza nnyo sente obate muli madagala. He was talking to you. Because guess what? Never in your lifetime will you ever see Muhoozi's children or anybody's children ababali mu government nga babonabona nga abaana babo. No. Which is why it is very difficult for them to protest against things like this.
The people who are at Makerere University are not the sons of the rich. People who drafted this policy, their sons are studying in abroad. They are studying in Nairobi University. They are studying in those big universities. They do not know what we are going through.
But you have to fight for yourselves. So when you're thinking that our brothers and sisters, someday it will be your children. You might not even be around to fight for them. So help these students fighting for their rights. Help these students. Because ladies and gentlemen, I am not here today I am here today to remind you that if we don't stand up together as a nation, if we don't fight for what is right, these people will keep pushing us on the wall. Atenga bachimanyi.
Corruption, greed, nepotism are things that is even are making Ugandans more disgusted in the leadership of our party in government. I'm speaking to you this because I know you are my shield. And I have to be honest. My judge told me to be very honest. I've told this to the president. I am not scared of calling a spade before anybody. If we don't restrain, if we don't control our greed on how we use public resource, how we steal with impunity, then Ugandans will push us out of power, and that will also be another transition. The hills of Kampala are expanding with the buildings, but schools, health centers are shrinking. So where do people get this money from? And who are the owners of these structures we see around? Commissioners, directors, ministers, permanent secretaries. So people get disgusted.
How many times has Sam Kutesa stolen money from the government? But how many times have you seen Ndiazizayo Zino? Never. Your students, your children, your brothers and sisters will be the one returning the money stolen by people like Sam Kutesa, Mutebiri, Bajenda. And if you're looking for reasons as to why these students are fighting, ladies and gentlemen, those are the reasons. With those few words, I'd like to remind you that today, tomorrow, will always be an independent mind coming from me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.